Well, how do there, chums? To Sci, Captain of the Stews, and today, chums, for you guys out there in the viewerverse, I have come across a video from another content creator, and it's simply freaking mind-blowing, and I just have to share it with you out there in the viewerverse, because we're going to go and have a look at a one in normal mode. And where I saw this video was in Zane's world. I'll put a link to his video up there in the top right-hand corner. Be sure to check it out. Right, well, let's head on over to my portally Codyman friend. Right, let's hit this on up, and let's key on in the code to go and see this space well in normal mode. So here we go, we need one of these, which is like a pin or a waypoint or whatever, followed by a birdieman bird, a black hole and a tepe. Then we need another ourselves a sun desert, a dragony fly, a flux capacitor, and a boatyman boat phase. Heck yes, last 4 digits, people, an eclipse. And a whirling 20 black hole, followed by a boatman boat face, and a waypoint or balloon. Here we go. Let's jump on into this swirling blue mass of what looks like would completely incinerate any normal person. But don't you worry, I'm the Steve of all the captains. Let's jump on in. I got that round the wrong way, didn't I? Well, we're going in anyway. Heck yes. And we've emergicated at the other side, majestically. Yeah, there we are. Right, awesome. And we're on this planet here. It says first contact, but no. This area of space was actually discovered by Hello Games. Anyhow, let's call on in my lovely Alpha Vector, because we're going to go for a photo opportunity with this space whale, and I want the nicest looking ship I've got with inside of my fleet, and I think this one is the most recognisable as a No Man's Sky ship. Because we're taking a picture against something quite alien, I want to have something quite recognisable against it when it goes out on the social media platforms. So let's head on up into space, and you can see here I've engaged my pulse engines. You just need to pulse for about, 8 to 9 seconds, and then you're going to get an encounter appear on screen that you need to exit out of pulse once you get the encounter notification. There it is, anomaly detected. I exited pulse, and look at this. We've got this nice majestic giant space whale. Look, it's got a strange sort of tag to it, almost like it hasn't quite been devved into iteration or thought about overly, and you're going to find that when you try to interact with it. But for now, we just want to get a lovely picture with this majestic sausage. Heck yes, we do. Awesome. Look at those entrails. Lovely sausage meat. Right, well, let's head on over this way, and let's see if we can get ourselves a nice little picture of this thing. Righto, let's pop into camera mode, and let's have a look at this beastie. Oh, wow, I like all that sort of blue sort of weirdness the aura this thing has got. Wow, that is proper alien, isn't it? Look at that for a photo opportunity. It's freaking massive. I didn't realise just how big these were in comparison to a ship. That's probably the size of my freighter, not a frigate. This is mental. So when we can have these amongst our frigate fleet, I wonder if it's going to be as big as this little beastie, or whether it's going to be smaller than this big little beastie. Yeah, okay, alright, fine. Well, let's see if we can get another picture. I'm trying to land on its freaking head right now, people, but no, you can't land on it either. Well, okay, what else can we do? We can get another photo. Heck yes, we can. Now, I've still got multiplayer on. It looks like another player has just entered into the system, because now it's moving in camera mode. Right, okay, well, this could be difficult to get my shot that I want, but you know what? It still looks freaking majestically awesome. That is massive. And look at the barnacles on it. Look at the barnacles on this blighter. Heck yes. Very cool. And those giant mandibles at the front. I wonder if you can find different coloured ones of these flying around in different areas of space. Because, yeah, this is the only one that I've seen so far that people have shared out there. And, yes, it's Zane's World that shared this out. So thank you very much, Zane, once again. Heck yes. Hope you guys have hit on up his video and given it a like and sort of added a comment to say, I saw this on Captain Steve's channel. Thank you for sharing it, Zane. But here we go. Here's some of my pictures that I took with this majestic beastie. Isn't it freaking ace? I definitely chose the right ship for this photo opportunity. Looks like it's going to eat me. Right, okay. Right, well, let's spin this around. Let's shoot this and see what it actually does. Because there's no communiques. We can't talk to the dang thing. It doesn't offer us any material, so can we freaking murder it? Let's give it a go. Okay, well, that's a bit weird. It's now flashing red, like a freighter would, or a frigate would. That is very odd. That is very odd indeed. I think this could just be a placeholder for now, people. But it does seem to be that it is a proper encounter. When you see the code text appear, Hello Games do want you to encounter this thing flying around in space. But I just don't know whether this is all they've intended. Do you remember when we got the derelict sort of freighters appear? The ones that are smashed up. Not the ones that you can land on and traverse and go through some sort of procedurally generated dungeon. But the ones that appeared that just had a box. You shot the box and you got some loot. But now there's pirates that appear there and all sorts of other stuff. I'm wondering whether this is just a placeholder, a little bit like those old sort of freighter encounters. And maybe we might get more to do with this in a future update. So you know what? I might build a base here. And there's another reason I want to build a base here in this system. And that's because it's got an abandoned station. Not a pirate space station, not a normal station. And look what it says when you fly in. It says, "Welcome home?" Question mark. And that's new. You know, that's only just come in, not in the last update, but a couple of updates back. Around emergence time, I believe, people, or when we got the station overrides or something. But it's fairly new, that bit of text. And now, these abandoned stations have got what I call void creep within inside of these stations. So they've got all this sort of slime that appears in the adjacent rooms from where you are. And yeah, I call this void creep. You head on over here. You go through these doors, though, which are locked behind an Atlas pass card door, and they've been protected by the Atlas. You know, they're freaking immaculate. So I'm wondering whether we might get ownership of these stations one day. What do you guys think? Hit it up in the comments. But another reason to build a base here is there's an actual infested fungal mold planet here, people. So an infested world in an abandoned system with a freaking space well. Yeah, how could I not build a base here? So I've just chucked down a teleporter because I've already got landing pads here, but there's no NPCs in these abandoned systems, so it's all mine, mindedly mine. And there's no sort of ships here that do sort of fly in or land, so don't worry about ship spawns getting broken and all that sort of shenanigans. Heck no. So this is just a lovely little base. It's already established for me. I've got weather protection, but I'm just going to come here every update and see if that worm, that space whale, actually generates and appears still, people. And also there's some weird sort of flora on this sort of infested planet that I haven't seen myself personally before, but you guys in the viewerverse may have done. It's this one over here. And at a distance, it looks like some sort of corrupted cucumber. But no, you get closer, and it's sort of like a skeletal type plant that's all sort of twirled together, but held together by glowing slime. And it only glows at a distance. When you get close, the glow goes, and it doesn't look majestic at all. I'm trying to climb the plant. Yes, I'm going for another photo opportunity. Right, okay, I fell off of it. It's a bit too freaking slimy. Right, well, let's just fly up to where I want my photo. There we go. I will have this poxy photo. Yes, I will. And I'm going to have it at sunset, dangly. I'm going to move the camera in a second. Right, so let's go into camera mode and let's get another photo op. Brilliant. That looks nice, doesn't it? There you go. Let's get a right angle. So it looks like I'm looking over into yonder. There we go. That looks majestic, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh, it's majesty. It really is darn freaking epic, that. Lovely job. Chicka-boom. Add that one to the photo album. That's one to show the grandchildren. Right, let's head on back over to my base. Because, yeah, I've got a theory about all this void creep. Because we never had infested planets before. I see you back at my base and I'll hit on up. Some information on the screen, shall we, people? So here we are back at base, and we're going to hit up the information. Executor Mondo! So on a yearly basis, we tend to get one update, or maybe even two, that bring in something strange into the verse, be that the abyss with the abyssal horrors, or be that the little creatures that pop out of the eggs and scuttle about by abandoned buildings. So it seems to be building that way. In fact, we had a whole expedition called Emergence that brought in some new assets and models in the ways of worm spawn. So I am thinking perhaps the void won't be a place that we traverse into, but it's a place that is actually infesting and slowly creeping into our own realm of space, because we've seen it happen so many times in intervals across different updates where we're getting more and more of this biological horror type stuff appearing inside of our verse, people. I mean, yeah, one day we might be able to traverse in there and try and knock back the infestation, or maybe even these abandoned stations, we take ownership of it and we can slowly tackle the infestation that way. Who knows? But anyway, if you want to see the Emergence trailer in full, I put a link in the top right hand corner so you haven't got me stapled over the front of it chatting. But yeah, it does make you wonder. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on all of this inside of the video's comments area. Please put them there. That'd be freaking excellent. So yeah, I will be checking back upon this planet and upon that sort of whale spawn. at regular intervals, every single update, and see if there's anything that I find, and I'll be reporting it to you in the viewerverse. Until next time, goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe, and I'd like to say a massive, great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers! And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.